adventures because everything that we did was new. The only live radio station at that time was the BCC news, and everything else was recorded. The announcers came in and did a show, and then they rebroadcast it later. So we had a live show. We had pop music. We had all English, free English, and that's the first hour. I think Ron and I want to talk about that student audience. And I'm looking at some of the emails that ICRT got, and I see that the youngest is 52 years old, and that's about right. 37 years ago is when I joined ICRT, and so and I work in the education industry now, and a lot of teachers in their mid-50s say, I grew up listening to ICRT. I requested my first song. Remember, we were there after martial law ended, so choosing a song was like voting. And the next song we have up was one of the songs that people would choose a lot. I think this is Aha.
True. This was heavily requested, exactly. Let's run that right now?
Yeah, and then later on, I'm going to have my most requested song, I think, ever, and Ron's going to have what he considers the most requested song. Then I also have my most hated song ever. Happy birthday, ICRT.
I was almost there.
Aha! That was a favorite song for students when we had our singing contest. Kids could come in and they just had to do that falsetto, and
it always failed.
I had a friend named Patrick Kearns, and he sold ICRT T-shirts, and we gave away those T-shirts all the time. And remember, everybody was wearing those ICRT T-shirts. Students were listening; they got extra credit. If they got online on ICRT from their schools.
Oh, that's right, huh?
I want to say hello to Frank Farrow. Frank's about to go to bed in the United States.
Hey, Frank.
I met Frank in Taiwan, and I guess for the last 30 years, we've just kind of kept in touch. Tutu, our former employee. Thank you, Tutu, for listening. Priya and Michelle Tong. I did a Saturday night show from 6 to midnight before Patrick Steele, and I could do pretty much anything I wanted. So I had more talk. I had students. I met Michelle Tung one time. One time she came in on a Saturday night, and I remember she had a classmate named Alexandra, and I don't remember the third one. I met her one time, and there was no internet yet. But as soon as the internet started and there was emails, I have received a Merry Christmas card, a Happy Chinese New Year, and a birthday card for 19 years from Michelle Tong. I met her one time as a guest on ICRT. Ron and I joined ICRT within 2 years of each other, and we were trained by Lan Roberts. And Lan Roberts was the real deal. He had worked at WLS Chicago. He had worked at KJR in Seattle. He's a guy that when you studied radio, you studied Lan Roberts. And Lan Roberts' thing was no amateur radio. He used to tell me,
even if you were,
put your boots on and go back to Texas if you want to do amateur radio.
That's pretty crude.
So remember the yellow pad?
You write everything down.
Yeah, and he didn't look at that yellow pad and edit it. He just wanted to make sure that we never went into a show unprepared.
Yeah.
We never went into a show just turning on the mic and winging it.
And did Len ever ask you for your show prep as you walked in the front door? I used to love that one, man. Can I see your show prep? Well, yeah, okay. And half the time I didn't have it.
So I was so happy when Ron came on board because I'm thinking, he's going to have to go through the land. But it made us better announcers, didn't it?
Yeah, actually, he was disciplined.
I wanted to ask you did the Love Mix at midnight.
Yeah.
I remember I walked into the studio one time. You had candles going. You had that Barry White voice going. How did you come up with that?
I mean, because the thing is, classical music had just gotten taken off, and I was already afraid of that. I said, "Oh my God, classical music has a huge audience. They're gonna take that off." Okay, you know what? I'm not gonna come in Ron Stewart style. I'm gonna come in real quiet for the first hour, and then I'll get into Ron Stewart after that, right? So I came in and I said, "Oh, I know, the Love Mix at midnight." And then, of course, I came up with all kind of love songs, and it worked. It was a hit.
Yeah, I remember the sales staff. I was always into the revenue, creating events and creating and at ICRT, we set a world record. Fred Goforth, Craig Quick, not my idea, but we set a world record for the largest environmental cleanup project in the world, Give a Day to Taipei.
On the beaches, I remember that.
On Fusheng Beach, Fulan Beach, whatever.
But it was on a beach.
But that was part of my job, was going to the Rotary clubs and going to schools, and they arranged their buses and they went out there and they cleaned it up. It was recognized at that time by the Guinness Book of World Records as the world's largest environmental project. Singing contest, because students had never been allowed to be on the radio before, so we put them on. Coke was getting their butt kicked by Haesong. So they came to ICRT and said, help us out. And when we created the Taiwan Top 20.
Is that how that originated?
And postcards. At that time, there was no internet. So if people wanted to request a song, they sent in a postcard. And everybody got postcards, but so did the host of American Top 40, Casey Kasem. People thought... Even last week when I mentioned this story, people thought that Casey Kasem worked on ICRT on Sundays and did American Top 40 out of Taiwan. But he got a heck of a lot of postcards. Later on, American Top 40 is going to be in our trivia question, and we've got a Spring City Resort coupon for 2 at a Beto. This is a 5-star hotel. It's for 2 people, and we're going to give that away in the next hour. But
you're going to warm people up with that question right now so they can start working on it?
American Top 40
has
had 3 hosts.
Right. Can you name all 3 hosts?
Yeah.
Okay. That's not bad. You can do that. You got time to find out too.
I don't think we're going to have time for a singing contest, but if you're in your 50s, go ahead and write to ICRT and say, I participated in a singing contest. That was cool. We got another song. What do you got? Because I want the most famous thing that Ron did, and it was just amazing how popular it was, and it was so simple. It made me so jealous of his success.
It's coming up next. We'll pause.
This is my opinion of the most requested song ever on ICRT. There were Filipino bands at that time. Taipei allowed live music. You would walk in and they were playing Hotel California 1 or 2 times. People did not understand the system that a radio station only plays a song every 3 hours. I want to hear Hotel California. I'm playing it now. I know. I like it. Play it again. So Ron has a different opinion, but this is what I think is the most requested song during my tenure at ICRT. The Eagles.
You're listening to Rick Monday on ICRT's 45th anniversary. This is Patrick Steele.
Rick was while I was trying to hold you up, so Patrick wanted to make his announcement. The great, fabulous one, Patrick Steele. The first DJ that was like bilingual on the air.
A huge student audience.
I mean, endless. He was like a god.
Ron and I have a story featuring Patrick Steele that's coming up. It's a good story. It's a good story.
But the song you said is the favorite song of all time. This one, I got more requests from this. If I could have got 1 and 2 for every time I got a request for this, I'd be a rich guy. And then Rick,
reading comments here, people said that's the song that I would have guessed also. How about a Carpenter song? What else did we have here?
Yesterday Once More.
It was a softer time. It was not a rock and roll time.
Rick, you were rocking. I got a kick out of that. And when I first met you, in fact, you were telling me about Bon Jovi, and dun, 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 which is, by the way, coming up in just a few minutes. But Rick, you got some things you want to go over?
Well, back then there was a thing called MTVs. And so if you wanted to watch a movie or American TV shows, that's where I watched The Cosby Show. Would go in there and you'd rent those VHS tapes, but they had, back then MTV was not serialized sitcoms, whatever they're doing now. And it was they had the Countdown show. And that's the first time I ever saw Bon Jovi and You Give Love a Bad Name. And I brought that up, and the sales staff contacted the record company, and we got it. And so that's how You Give Love a Bad Name got on the radio. Well, Patrick Steele, did we play him already?
We did.
Okay. Patrick Steele turned a midnight till 5:30 blank show. It was just music that was running off the computer, right, with no host.
There was no computer. You're right. There was just music playing, but I'm not sure where it was coming from. I was on a big reel back then. Remember? Craig
Quick saw Patrick at not the Hyatt, the Sheraton, right down the basement. Patrick could mix. So we're doing this for Patrick's granddaughter. We want you to know about your granddad.
Hey, what's her name?
I don't know.
Patrick hasn't told us your name? Okay, we're going to find
out. But
I
know her dad's name is Dimitri, which we called him Jimmy when he was young, all right? But Patrick,
never let me call him that, though.
Patrick was Superman because he had so many talents, and he was so humble and such a very nice guy. But he took a midnight till 5 blank shift and made it
the number one show at ICRT.
Must-listen radio. Students listening. Back then, students went to bed at 2 a.m., studying and doing their homework because Casey Kasem on American Top 40 did the long-distance dedication.
Right.
Back then, guys had to go into the military, so girls were using Patrick to write a letter. They could write in Mandarin, and he would translate it into English and play that song.
Made me so mad because he'd get all these letters. His mailbox would be filled with envelopes.
But Ron and I and Patrick had a unique experience because the Taipei American School, which is now the European School, that's where the American School was, they tore it down. That land was empty, and the American Chamber of Commerce the year before had a problem with vendors were spending money to open up an ice cream or a pizza, and they were losing money. So ICRT took it on that we will promote the AmCham 4th of July for no cost, but let us take it over and do it. Mike Ryan brought over this band, Jim Foster Band from Vancouver.
I forgot about that.
And we used the latest technology. We used a fax machine. and I remember that the big song was Tom Petty's Running Down a Dream. But we sent them what was the hot songs in Taiwan. They learned them all. But Fred Goforth, not an air personality, but he arranged this whole thing with AmCham, had all of us enter every contest there was. So Ron, Patrick, and I were a 3-man greased pole team. So we put on coveralls, remember, so we wouldn't get our clothes dirty. I hugged that pole. Ron, we just figured it out. I go, Ron, put your hand here on my hip and then climb on my shoulders. He says, I'm up, I'm ready. And Patrick
went up me.
Oh, he went up. He grabbed the flag before any of the other teams even got the third guy on the second guy's shoulders.
Was it human how fast he was moving?
It was, anyway. So Patrick Steele's granddaughter, your dad was an amazing guy, and he used to do that Patrick Steele super mix, or was that what it was when
I forgot the name of it, but that sounds like about.
Oh man, he knew music, and then I substituted for Patrick on his day off, and so it was midnight to 5, and I came in, and those phone lines were absolutely lit, full of students for the next from midnight until 2 when kids went to sleep. And so that it was just the student audience, and we had our name tags around our neck, security tags, and there was no MRT. We get in on the bus, and students are all going ICRT. We're the first radio station to have a jingle.
Oh, that's right, huh? And everybody knew it. And they look at you and say, ICRT. That was so adorable.
So how much, do we have one more story time? How much time we got left?
Can we, you know what, I should probably run this next track.
All right.
And then we'll get like a minute in or so after.
A non-radio story, but any foreigner who's ever eaten in a Chinese restaurant, Ron and I have a memory that I think you'll relate to. What's up next?
Your song. I'm not going to tell you what it is. It's coming up next. The song I remember Rick by when I first met him. This hard rockin' dude. Who is this guy? And he's talked about Bon Jovi. And ever since then, Rick, I've been a Bon Jovi fan. as we continue with Rick Monday.
Rockin' and rollin'. We're playing both kinds of music here at 45th anniversary. Next hour, we're going to give away a coupon for the Spring City Resort in Beto. It's a luxury resort for two, and it's about American Top 40. Who was the original? The host now is Ryan Seacrest. Before that, it was Shadow Stevens. Ron and I, we've mentioned the name already, but who is the original host of American Top 40? Not now.
I was going to say, Rick, are you giving away the answer? Because I thought they had to name all three people.
No, we'll just do the original.
Okay, yeah. And it makes it a little easier. We don't want to make the contest so difficult you can't win.
Huck Leo is listening. Hi, good dude, Ron. You would like Huck if you met him. Yeah, thanks for listening.
I like you already, all right.
Chinese restaurants. You guys, foreigners listening, you've eaten in Chinese restaurants 2-3 times a day for 10 years. How many times
that's embarrassing.
Has this happened? At that time, Ron and I were professional eaters.
Yeah.
We could consume food. Patrick Steele was with us, but Patrick was he was normal. He was not a Superman eater.
Yeah.
I remember and Patrick would take us to a mom and pop Chinese restaurant, and everything was this was Sunday nights. Oh, it was delicious. And so I remember Ron holding up his rice bowl and going, "Lao ban, zai san wan fan, how
for an hour."
And we're wondering, well, how long does it take? And then we see the Lao ban going out with the steel one of those big rice bowls going out the door, and we said,
in the window, remember you saw him pass by. I wonder where he's going.
We've eaten all the rice. So I know you guys have eaten in Chinese restaurants and you guys have enjoyed Chinese foods, but how many times have you ever eaten all the rice?
Yes.
They had to borrow it.
I consider that a triumph. How many times, like you said, Rick, how many people could say that they ate up all the rice in the restaurant? That is special.
Oh, and rumor, true or not true, you at a KTV once ate 200 soy jiao.
You know, Rick, I just got through working out is what I did. And I went over there because I didn't want to go straight home, right?
200.
I did 200. They weren't real big. They were medium sized, And the girl asked me after, because I kept ordering 50 at a time, right? And she's like, "Hi, you hey, this is Chica. This is 150. Hey, 真的. Hey, okay, give me 50 more. So I'm going for 200 because I'm already there. I'm still feeling good. I just got through working out. Rick, I was hungry.
Yeah.
I'm watching one movie after another, and I'm eating 200 straight jiao. I keep telling people about that. They don't believe me. I can do it.
Yeah. You and I were both here. We had the big earthquake recently, but we were both here when the largest earthquake.
Yeah.
Oh, that was 3:13 a.m. Boy, that was a shaker.
That wasn't 94. That was 99.
Yeah. That was really so. We left our room when the wall started cracking. That's when they said this isn't stopping. Let's go downstairs.
But because I didn't know what to do, the floor and Rick, that was jumping up and down. I remember in San Francisco we have earthquakes that go side to side, but I had never been in one that was jumping up and down like that. I was freaked out.
Next hour, we've got a prize to give away. I've got Father Bauer, who I had never met. Except on the radio, and then we have become good friends. He's going to phone in. Tito Gray has a story about, we pulled off an April Fool's promotion about Michael Jackson that worked so well, I had to go downstairs and get on my knees and put my forehead and bow 3 times to apologize to the Apple Daily because they believed our April Fools. So that story's coming up the next hour. And Ron, think about your best show. I think I know which show to me was the most important. All right, well that's all coming up. It's the 45th anniversary. Hey, we got to thank Ding Yu. Ding Yu in the marketing department put this whole thing together. She arranged for the DJs to come back. So Ding, you did a great job.
We gotta go, Rick. We'll be right back. Hey, Rick, you know what?
Let's dump that one.
Yeah, this is why I don't like remixes. This is not a song to remix. Where's Cutting Crew?
The point of this was that Tom Ewing and myself were assigned to promote Cutting Crew. Yeah. Their first ever tour in Asia. They had been in Japan, and the audience was very quiet because the Japanese were very respectful back then. So we
wait a minute, Rick. As if they aren't now, they are still, right?
I don't know, but we gave away a lot of T-shirts. We gave away a lot of tickets. It was a full auditorium, and we were practicing before the show, getting everybody to say encore, encore. Well, Cutting Crew sang their first song, and people were saying encore. So they didn't quite catch the concept of, what is an encore. You had Jennifer Lopez? Is that who you
Jennifer
were?
Lopez, yeah.
Uh-huh.
No, I'm not sorry. Yeah, J-Lo, exactly. And J-Lo, I didn't know that she's having a fight. She was diva. I think it was Mariah Carey. Anyway, we were told before we did the questioning that we were not allowed to ask a certain few questions, one with P. Diddy and some other things, right? And I got up and says, so, Jennifer, I understand that you and Mariah Carey are having some issues. And she pointed around the audience, okay, next question, please. Oh, my God. I lost face so bad, Rick.
Jazz and blues. B.B. King and Ray Charles, B.B. King did 1 hour, Ray Charles did the second hour, and I think then the second night they flipped it around. Bill Thiessen was the host. That's the first time that there was a blues concert or I guess, what would we call Ray Charles? He was a bit of everything.
Yeah.
But Bill had to also teach the audience that when I say, ladies and gentlemen, B.B. King, he goes, I need you guys to cheer. And it went really well. But another thing ICRT helped bring to Taiwan, I think it would have happened anyways, but it just happened a little bit earlier, was jazz and blues. When I left ICRT, I went to the government, and I met Yvette Zhuang. Yvette is listening, so hi, Yvette, very much. That was, I met some really nice people in the government. I came in the last 2 years of the Ma Ying-jeou presidency, and then I worked with the next year with President Tsai. So I went through a DPP presidency, KMT presidency, and a DPP presidency. So it was kind of an interesting. In fact, I edited the letter that Taiwan sent to the White House saying that we were seeing a virulent form of the flu from Chinese visitors, which of course was COVID. So Taiwan did its best to alert the White House of what was happening. What do you think was your best show?
Hey, you asked me that a few minutes ago, and Rick, I got to tell you right now, I don't think I've ever had a show I didn't like. I feel like, what's that guy said I never met a man I didn't like? Was that Will Rogers and Ron Stewart? And I have never had a show I didn't like. If I had to pinpoint one, I just can't really come up with that show, Rick. After this many shows, I don't know. I
had Dale Holmgren, who had been in Taiwan for 55 years, and Peng Meng-hui, Doris Brahm from Studio Classroom, Let's Talk English. I knew her. She taught me how to play cards. Dale and I were Rotary Club members, but he went to bed at 5 a.m., so he was never, ever going to be available to get up, but he says, I'll do it for you. I'll get up one time at 8 a.m. And so they were 103 years combined living in Taiwan. They had stories of Chiang Kai-shek, Madam Chiang Kai-shek, about the center of Taipei was Ximending, about when you went to a movie theater, you had to sit with your feet in the chair because there were rats running around the floor, and about the effort to after Jimmy Carter in '79 broke relations with Taiwan, that ICRT, the American Club, certain things had to happen or else the American business people were going to go out. So it was a historical lesson. But with Peng Meng-hui, Ding Yu, and the other sales staff, the Taiwanese girls who grew up listening to her, they all came up and they bowed to her. I thought that was a cool thing.
It is amazing.
So Doris Braun, Dale has passed on, but Doris is still with us. But just because of Dale getting up, he says, I wouldn't do it for anybody else but you. I thought that was my best show.
That's a wonderful thing, isn't it? I can see why you'd never forget about that.
AIT helped me to have an interview with Barack Obama. Now, he was Senator Barack Obama, but he was running for president. He was in Japan, and it happened to be Super Bowl Sunday, so there wasn't a lot of media requests, but AIT guaranteed him Rick won't punk you. Whatever question he says that he'll ask. So that was another cool thing that I owed to AIT.
Okay. And Rick, I got to tell you, one of your other favorite moments, my favorite moments of you and Sylvester Stallone. Rick somehow had a conversation with Sylvester Stallone.
Rambo was out.
He was Rambo, and Rick wanted to promo the station.
No, I was ordered. Tony Taylor said, if I give you the Sylvester Stallone interview, you have to have him say, this is Sly Stallone, you're listening to ICRT. ICRT.
And that went south real quick because Rick, I don't know what you were recording with, but it didn't work the first time. You know what? Nobody will ever forget whoever heard you do that. Okay, hey Rick, man, you're starting to get on. What did he say exactly?
He
Rick,
said, he says, look, guy, I can get on a plane and fly to Taiwan and we settle this. And I tried to say, I'm a big fan, but my boss, Tony Taylor, said, I've got to have you say ICRT. He just couldn't. It was like, I say TT and, and I mean, it's just like ICRT. How about that?
Rick, you could claim your claim to fame is, well, I once made Sylvester Stallone pretty mad one time. Yeah, I can say that, Hey, but listen, Kev Morgan, right?
Yeah,
you want to do that now?
Kev Morgan was my Cliff Richard when I came was this incredible morning guy. He didn't stay long because his advice to us was come to ICRT and let this be your radio school and learn how to get better and then go back to the United States. My plan always had been to do sports radio in the United States. So Cliff was my number one morning guy, but I'm going to put Kev up there because Kev played reggae, but he played Guns N' Roses. Yeah. He played Sweet Child of Mine in the morning, which was a big deal. And so this is a Kev Morgan memory. Kev?
Hey, Rick. It's great to hear your voice after all these years. The story that came to mind for me was one of my favorite morning show stories. And there was an artist named Debbie Gibson who these days is kind of a reality show star and Broadway star in America, but she was a big pop star originally sort of in the late 80s, early 90s. Well, about 1996 or 7, she came to Taiwan to promote her album. And she was then going by Deborah Gibson as she had turned 30 and was attempting to appeal to a slightly more mature crowd than her teeny bopper years. And I knew she was coming up, and I had an idea, so I wrote a little script. And when she got there,
what's next?
Before she went on the air, I sort of said, "Hi, Debbie, it's nice to meet you." And I had no idea if she'd go for my crazy idea, but I said, "Look, I want to try this idea. If you're willing to do it, you have to go in and record a few things in the studio before we can get you on the air."
So Gray's going to call in now.
Oh,
then.
Great! That sounds fun. Let's do it. And she took a look at the script and was laughing and said, "Okay, this will be fun." And I knew she was kind of a theater nerd,
He said 11:15 if I don't hear from
plays in high school, and so she was very game and ready to go for it. And so she recorded her part. She comes in. We start the interview. Ladies and gentlemen, Debbie Gibson.
So Careless Whisper can win.
And we're talking about her past career, and then we get into some of the current stuff. And the joke was that I would start asking her some questions that were going to bore her. Well, she had recorded some thoughts that had a lot of echo on them. So it indicated to the audience that she was thinking these things but not saying them. So while she was live with me on the air, we hear her start to go, "Oh gosh, this guy is so boring. Man, this guy is just interminable.
You and Kev,
this interview ever going to end?" And so the whole time I'm going on, "Well, Debbie, it's just great to have you here." And then she finally says, "Yeah, Kev, I kind of got other things to do. I need to move on." And so she gets up to start to leave and is moving away from the microphone. And I'm going, "Well, okay, Debbie." And she walks out the door.
We didn't have your personality there.
"Bye, Debbie." And then I pretend to be very sad and I start, "You are my sunshine, my only sunshine." and I'm really playing up the sadness. And as I get a little bit further into the song, she comes back in and starts to sing with me, and it's glorious and fantastic. And soon the whole staff came in, and everybody was singing, and she was laughing so hard when we finished that thing. We had so much fun. So we go to commercial. My show's over. They've headed down the hill. She and Caroline, who was the record rep at the time, and I get a call about 5 minutes later. And Caroline, who's a good friend, she said, "Hey, Debbie wants to know, you want to go bowling tonight?" And that night, I go out with Debbie and Caroline and Rick, her husband, and the four of us went bowling for a few hours. And we had the best time. So I got to know Debbie just as a fun, almost like a high school date, very sweet and innocent, and we just had the best time. And that's my memory of my favorite morning show story.
All right. Good story.
It was.
Tito Gray, call in now. Tell us about the April Fool's prank that worked too well. You're not going to play it, Ron. Please don't. Just George, don't please.
No, I've got to set it for later, Rick. This is something. This is going to be good for you. You know, at this point in your life,
a lot of songs I like, but this is. I hate this song.
You should have gotten over that hurdle by now.
Oh man, I haven't.
These are things that you have to overcome. You can never have something that overwhelms and takes you over. You've got to man up. You got to get to the top of that situation. It's like when you fall off of a horse.
I beg you, don't do it.
I don't know. I'm not to do it. And Rick, this is going to be. Listen, you're going to thank me for this later. And you're going to say, if it wasn't for Ron, I never would have been able to handle that song. All right?
Which phone number do people need to call in? Let's give away this Beto luxury spot.
I do Careless Whisper, brother.
Okay. All right. During Careless Whisper, people call in.
You call in now. And Rick, I think you should sing along with the song. Get the KTV camera. Get the camera there so Rick can read the words.
Oh, I do. Oh, really?
You just got to just romance that song as you're sitting there thinking Careless Whisper.
Oh, I hated this song. And Taiwanese just loved it.
Rick got calls every day. I was listening. I wasn't employed.
Ron would tell people, call him and request this song.
Hey, shout out to Susan Gao.
Susan Gao?
Susan used to work at ICRT.
Hi, Susan.
And she could not understand why Rick would not appreciate this song.
Call on number 15 to win the resort in Beto for 2. Call now.
Hey, wait. I got to give him that sound. Okay. Where's that sound? Wait. Hey, George, pipe down a minute. There it is.
What phone number?
8522-8282.
8522-8282 to win 5-star resort. If you like this song, you're wrong.
He likes it. You can tell he really loves it. That's why he talks about it like that.
Who is the original host of American Top 40?
There you go. No, people are still on the phone. One person left.
It's not Shadow Stevens. It's not Ryan Seacrest.
And it's not Rick Monday.
It definitely was not Rick Monday. All right. They're all lighting up. All right. Who was the original host? You win the prize.
Okay, I probably should answer the phone. Okay. Give me line 1. Give me line 1. Rick, are you ready? Here comes line 1 right now.
Hi. Who was the original? Oh, no, he's gone. Hi, hello.
Happy birthday to ICRT.
Beautiful. Who was the original host?
Casey Kasem.
All right.
Oh, that's too easy.
Can we put you on hold and then we'll say you're on the air and you'll do it, okay?
Thank you.
Are you okay? You okay to wait for 2 minutes?
Hey, Rick, she doesn't have to wait. We are.
It's gonna be fine.
We're on the air now.
Oh, we're on the air now.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, this new technology.
Hey, what is your name?
What's your name?
My name is Carrie.
Hi, Carrie. Carrie, you do have to hold on though. I need to get your information, okay?
Okay.
Hey, Hey, Carrie, you got to promise you'll have a good time, okay?
Sure, thank you.
Hey, do you hate Careless Whisper also? It's a terrible song, isn't it? Okay, all right, Carrie. You still win, Carrie. You still win.
Hold on, Carrie. Oh my God, Carrie, call back, Carrie. Call me back. I need you on the phone, Carrie. I need your information. I don't know where you live. I don't know your phone number. We don't know anything, Carrie. Get back on that phone.
She liked Careless Whisper. I made her mad.
All right, let's see if anybody. Let's get some honest people. Somebody's going to call in, and it's not really Carrie.
Let's get.
I said hello. Are you
Hello.
Carrie? Is that you, Carrie?
Hi.
Yes, Carrie. Is that you?
Yes, I'm Carrie.
Okay, Carrie.
Yeah.
What was the answer to the question?
I told you the question is Casey Kasem.
Hey, Carrie says, "Don't mess with me." Of course, I give you
American Top 40.
Carrie, I'm going to give you to someone else here, and don't you move, okay? Here,
Okay.
All
right, we're off air.
We're off air. Yeah. All right.
Oh, all right. Hey, we got to talk about David Wong.
Okay.
You going to give me a mic? All right, here we go. All right. Patrick Steele was the first guy who had a huge student audience, and then David Wong came back. He came as an intern. He went to the Army. He came back, and I don't know how many times people would come up and go, that David Wong, he never left Taiwan. And we go, I know I work with him. I know he was just they were just so much pride that David learned his English just here, never left the island, never really went to a language school.
And learned it at ICRT hanging around with DJs.
So for a while the slogan was, if David can do it, so can you. The more you listen, the more you'll learn. And by then, hundreds of thousands of students were listening to ICRT and participating. Again, Coca-Cola needed us to overcome Hey Song we had the Taiwan Top 20. Singing contest were going out. We had an ICRT bowling team. Not very good.
Yeah, I know. I was on.
We had some jock guys in the news department. BC, Brian Curtis. We were the softball league champions like 4 or 5 years in a row. We gave away a car. Nicholas Gould became the marketing guy, and he gave away a car. We also had free full moon party concerts. Backstreet Boys, was it? Who was the big band? Or was it
Backstreet did so, but we had
or was it Boyz II Men? That free. Julian Lennon came.
Julian Lennon, I remember him.
He fell off the stool. He was so drunk.
I know, right? Did Backstreet show up for that party? I'm not sure. I know we had somebody big time, 2 or 3 times.
But David Wong passed away from cancer. But what a good dude David was. I went with him a couple times to universities when he was giving speeches, and his speech was about 25 minutes, but then another hour of nothing but photos and autographs. And I know you went with him one time.
Yeah.
At least once. Yeah.
Dave, I used to hang out with him all the time, so it was rough with those photos.
You can't remember your best show, all right?
I still can't,
because they were all good.
Yeah. I know somebody said, just be out there now. I really can't, I wish I could think of one show that stands out in my mind is the problem.
I don't know. Tito Gray said he was going to phone, and he hasn't done it. So, this filler is really courtesy of Tito Gray.
We got an open line for you. Hurry up and get that phone call in.
And we got a good story, Tito. Come on, dude. Call up.
The only phone that's going to ring is going to be Tito, and we're waiting for it to ring. Come on, Tito. 805-228-282. Tito's. Wait a minute. You're talking to Tito? Why are you talking to Tito?
No.
If he called right now, he could get through. Hang up and get Tito. We're waiting for him.
Oh, good Lord!
Tell him the joke.
He's got a kid. Have your kid dial the phone for you.
No, he was talking to Ding. He's calling.
I see.
We're waiting for him.
I just like to say, if you're listening and you remember me, boy, you're old.
Tito, where are you, man? We're waiting on you. Come on, Tito.
At 12 o'clock, we're going to have the History of ICRT podcast that we entered in a podcast competition 2 years ago. Then at 1 o'clock, Richie Walker from 1 to 3, and then Tony Taylor 3 to 5. Is it Dennis Nia is after that, and
there
then Kama Sami Kong.
Yes, indeed. All right, we got him. Finally got him.
Okay,
that's it.
Well, that's what happened.
Then you know what? Maybe get Tito's phone number and we'll call him. He's not going to be able to do this.
Yeah, good.
We're going to run out of time in a minute.
All right.
Yeah.
Priya, if you're going to call in with a quick ICRT memory, call us at 85. What is it, Ron?
8522-8282.
8522-8282. Rick Monday and Ron, first time we've ever done a show together, and I've enjoyed this.
Right?
I knew we would enjoy this.
Rick, I'm going to play a song here that's going to be shocking to you.
All right.
Because you played this once, and I never forgot it. Rick, you did that a lot. A lot of things that I never forgot. Because I liked Rick when I first. Rick was the first guy I met. Maybe should I answer this? Maybe that's Rick, and I mean that's Tito on the phone now. Let's give him another shot.
Nope, he can't get through. All right.
Tito, that's it for you, man. We're gonna find Tito. Give your number to Ding, and we'll call you because you're failing, Tito, and it's embarrassing.
It's a good story too. It's a good story.
We're gonna pause and be right back after this.
That was a song written after the Kent State Massacre.
Yep.
Neil Young. Always liked Neil Young.
You always play music that I hadn't really been familiar with, right? I said, wow, this is powerful. I like it. Speaking of, we got the powerful Greg Gleason finally. And you know what?
Tito Gray. They're not going to know him as Greg Gleason.
Sorry,
all right, so
Tito.
Tito, April 1st, prank memory. Quick, go.
First, let me say happy 45th anniversary to you and everybody else. Ron, good to talk to you.
Yeah, thank you.
When I can talk to you.
I know, right? We don't do this, yeah.
We thought that it would be really a cool idea. We were thinking of this since January of, I think it was 1999 or 2000, when we wanted to do a cool April 1st thing for the audience at ICRT, and we at some point before the WEA, that year's WEA for ICRT, we decided we would spread this idea that Michael Jackson was going to come and live in Taiwan
because he was having that legal problem, right, with those sleepovers.
Having all kinds of problems.
Yeah.
Right.
Hey,
So
you been talking about it at his ranch?
Yes.
Okay.
So our prank was that Michael Jackson was gonna move to Taiwan.
And so forth. But anyway, so what we did was when we had the WEA, I got together with all the staff at ICRT, and I said, okay, now what I want you all guys to do is to go, Michael, Michael, Michael. And so they all did that. So we had like 40 people, chanting Michael, Michael, Michael. And so I put that together with, we had Jacques Van Wersch calling in supposedly from the airport. We had the sounds of planes and everything, but behind that we also had the sound of all these people shouting, Michael, Michael, Michael. And Jacques is saying, yes, the plane is landing, and it's coming in, and pretty soon we're going to see Michael Jackson, and yada, yada, yada. It went on. Cool. It actually went on for like 3 hours.
So that was...
First was like,
that, let me jump in here. That was the idea, that we would do a well-produced April Fool's prank that everybody knew was a prank, but we were hoping that it would sound so good because Tito Gray produced it. It was going to sound good. But we always, the news department was involved with fake news stories, and Bill and I were talking, but we always said April 1st, and we did it over and over so that we weren't trying to fool anybody. It was just trying to say that it's well produced. Well, that kicker that Gray did with that Michael, I'm Jacques Van Wersch at the airport, it worked so well that the Apple Daily, the Pingguo Erbao, they had a reporter in Hong Kong who believed it. He got on a plane. He flew to the airport, and, of course, there was no Michael Jackson. Yeah. So then I get a call that says, Rick, can you come on down? So I went. The management called me down. I'm thinking they're going to say, what a great, that was really good. 3-hour April promotion. No.
No, not knowing it was intentional. It was not a joke.
Oh, this guy was just huffing mad, and so I had to get on my knees and put my forehead on the ground 3 times and bow to him and say apologies. Yeah. and read it online I'm talking about on air.
One of the lines that had to be in the letter was that I did not mean to insult the Chinese culture.
Yeah.
You guys are so far in line. I'm sure glad I wasn't involved with that.
Oh man, and the other thing was, I think the most successful contest we had was also because of Tito Gray. Mayor Hu from Taichung agreed that if we brought the morning show to Taichung for a week, he would come on every day for an hour in the studio with us, not on the phone, but in the studio. And then Gray, once he knew that it was for sure, the sales staff had sold the idea, he then upped the level by doing what, Tito?
Went to Costco and asked them if they could, do a little something to promote Costco and promote, the whole thing. And we got Richard Zhang from Costco.
Thank you, Richard. Thank you, Richard.
6'7", 6'8". Wow, how tall is Rich?
Yeah, he's big.
Yeah,
big.
Yeah. And
5,000 NT coupons per day for 4 hours, 20,000 a day, times $100,000 of coupons. Now, we're in Taichung thinking, wow, this is great, because they had to call into ICRT Taipei in order to win. Our receptionist
worked her to death.
Well, I got another letter of reprimand. because people didn't know when to win. They were just constantly calling, can I win? Can I win the 5,000? Can I win
the responsible, Rick.
It was me. Yeah. Oh, and Greg Gleason. Tito, it was great working with you, and Tito actually did all of these promos in Manila. Thank you so much.
Rick,
we're not going to let him retire.
Good stuff, Tito, man. It's awesome. Everything was so clear and so perfect. And shout out to your little daughter, Shanti. She's amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Oh.
She is. She really is.
Asian Nation. Asian Nation is the longest running program, and Tito was the second host, and he ran it for a long time, but it's still running 8 a.m. on Sunday mornings here on ICRT. Thank you very much, Tito.
I've had it for 25 years. See you later, guys.
All right, Tito. Good talking to you.
Happy 45th.
Thanks. All
Good
right.
to talk to you.
All right, Tito. There he is, Tito Gray. And the show's been taken over now, but, Rick, you didn't know about that, but yeah. It's in those.
Ping! How are you, Ping Ping?
We got
That's a special guest for Tito Gray. Probably he recognized.
No, okay.
Oh, we just got Tito just left.
Oh, no.
Shucks.
Oh, no.
All right.
Listen, we're going to pause for this and be right back. Because
Father Dan Bauer, call in now. Don't it feel good?
Hey, Rick, you like that song, Dan?
Oh, I've always liked that song.
Yeah, hey, listen, Priya's on the phone, by the way.
Hi, Priya. How are you? Thanks for calling in.
Oh, thank you for doing this. I'm so excited, and happy birthday to ICRT. Especially special for me because we have the same birthday month, and it's so exciting to hear Terry and Tony and Rick and Ron and Dennis and Richie. I've been an avid listener for almost 4 decades. So not 45, but almost 40 years.
Ding, you put this whole thing together. So we got to thank Ding for it. It's been a lot of fun. Appreciate being able to come back, and I've always wanted to do a show with Ron. So thanks for making that happen.
And by the way, Priya is one of the most incredible interpreters on the island. Priya, you're legendary. Do you know that?
Legendary.
Thank you, Ron. Thank you.
Thank you for listening, Priya. How many years you been listening?
38 years.
38 years.
Priya, so good to talk to you. Let's do it again later. All right.
Take care.
Students used to love this. Billy Idol.
Start again! Hey, Rick, that was pretty good. Want to do it again?
Start again!
It's Abusive Radio Day. It's our birthday.
Land Roberts would go nuts if he heard us singing over a song, man. That's amateur radio. Put your boots on and go back to Texas.
How's he know?
Richie Walker.
Get ready, here comes.
Run again!
Last day for White Wedding. Bobby used to do. Hey, Billy, calm down, buddy.
Richie Walker will be on at 1. Tony Taylor, 3. Dennis Nye, 5, and then Kamasami Kong at 7 o'clock as Ding has brought back announcers from the past for ICRT's 45th.
And Rick, and you mentioned like we're sitting over, Land would not appreciate us in here carrying on like amateurs. Well, here's the thing. Bobby used to do KTV. Bobby initiated a lot of things that I did. I have to give Bob credit for it. Just about everything I did, the screaming contest, the singing contest, was after Bob. But Rick.
Gregory Sharver, howdy. Thank Gregory Sharver sent in a nice message, so appreciate the compliment. A person that I had never met, we got Father Van, we put him on the air, Ron.
Oh, wait, I apologize, Bob K Radio, I'm sorry. Okay, go ahead.
All right, Father Bauer, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Okay,
Rick.
so I'd never met Father Bauer, but I wanted to have a steady call-in community guest, and Father Bauer wrote a column in the China Post every Sunday, and so we talked and said, how about if on Friday you call in and promote a little bit about the column. But the interesting thing is I was raised Southern Baptist, so I have never had a priest friend, and Father Bauer is you're an ordained priest or whatever.
I'm a Catholic priest.
Yeah.
I'm 50 years almost.
Yeah, so I had a friend who was a priest. About English learning, Father Bauer, do you ever feel sorry for the Taiwanese? For a while there in kindergarten, they wanted him to do English and Japanese. You remember that?
Well, that was probably before my time, although I do.
No way, you're before my time.
Okay, yeah.
But on Fridays, Father Bauer had a class during when I had this, and so he stepped out of his class to make a phone call to call in, and he was never late. And in fact, if I had another guest or if we had something else going, he would wait and call again. And so, boy, just your patience, and I hoped we helped your readership, but
well, I think you probably did. I'm sure you did, but also my students took an interest more in ICRT radio during those years. It was a wonderful thing for us
out here at Furen too, Rick, and I'm the guy to say thank you to you and to ICRT, to be honest with you. You were great to me for about 5 years, off and on there. It was great.
And not being Catholic, it wasn't sacrilegious, in my opinion, anyways, to always say, bless you, Father, and have a good week. And I always thought that, and I don't know how many messages I would get and go, it's pretty cool to have a priest as a friend, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it seemed to be a pretty good pairing, and you used to end your chats with me by saying, would you offer a blessing for our listeners? And I was happy to do that, of course. I mean,
how about today? Can we get a blessing?
Wait, Rick. I just one question. Did you ever go in for a confession? Because you had a lot of things that you needed to repent about.
Me? Sure.
No. I mean Rick. Rick come into you? Yeah.
Oh, Rick lives such a clean life. He doesn't need to go to confession, I'm sure.
I loved it. Rick's silent. Rick, we're just kidding. You're okay.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, there's a place for you above.
So, quick, give our listeners for our 45th anniversary a quick blessing.
Right. Well, here's a blessing for all the listeners for ICRT, and happy congratulations and all of that good stuff for 45 years. May God bless all of us, and I don't know what else to say. Thank you, Lord, for everything you've given to me through Rick and his buddies down there at ICRT.
Thank you, Father.
That's a wonderful thing. Well, Father, you have a great day, and hopefully we'll run into you somehow soon, okay?
I hope so. Maybe that could happen. Thanks so much for calling.
Thank you. Bye-bye, Father Bauer.
Okay, goodbye, guys.
Oh, there you have it, Rick. Now, I got to tell you, Rick, we're going to run out of time here, but you and I, what can we talk about? Rick, I got to tell you, I haven't talked to you in a long time, and as I was telling Tony, I've been abusive. I've not been getting back to you guys like I want to. But you guys got to know, the 49ers and ICRT have been driving me nuts, so I can't get a minute in edgewise. So
I'm a Texan fan now. I gave up on the I went from working for the Cowboys to actually becoming a Houston Texans fan.
Hey, good move. The Texans are going to be a powerhouse next year. I mean, really good. So
thank you, Dingu, for this opportunity to come back. Richie Walker will be on at 1:00.
Yeah, we can't stop him. You know what I think it is? Hey, Richie, if you're listening, you need to hurry up and get here because we got one elevator in this building. There could be a line outside. But, Richie, if you want to hike up those stairs and get those muscles all... Is that Richie out in the lobby? Maybe Richie might be here already. No, Richie would have charged in here by now. Rick, can't tell you, man, how much I missed you.
Yeah, it's the first time we ever got to do this. Thank you, Ding. And hey, all these messages that are coming in. Thank you, guys. Remember, if you remember me, you're very old.
Rick, but you've always had this thing about being nasty and mean. Love you, man.